Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to Socially Joe. I am Joe Riggio, the host of Socially Joe. I am here today with my guest, TODDY JADOO, on episode 8, which, there you go, episode 8. We're building these episodes up as we go. So with that, I brought Toddy on. I've worked with her for a couple of projects, and she is a great client of mine. But I wanted to introduce her to my listeners and find out more about her. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Toddy. So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your business.
Hey there, how are you?
Very well. So go ahead, Toddy. Tell our listeners a little bit about you and a little bit about your business.
Well, I think I consider myself an entrepreneur. I have several different projects, a lot of irons in the fire, and what I try to do is to keep it to the point where everything is kind of connected, because I don't want to confuse people. So I basically started out as a bodyworker massage therapist and developed a technique from there. And then I took that into next level and next level and next level. So that's what I'm going to be sharing about today.
Okay. So obviously, within the scope of everything, we're kind of in the quarantine mode, but we'll discuss that a little bit later in the episode. But so I know you gave us a little bit about yourself, but who are you really, Toddy? What do you like to do for fun? Tell our listeners, like, how does one as an entrepreneur keep their mindset to be, one with the universe, so we're not overcome with all stress.
Well, the thing is that that's one of the things that the new program that I developed, which we're going to talk about later on, addresses. Here's what I found. First, first of all, I'm originally from Trinidad, and I'm Indian, meaning my ethnic background is from India. So my family came through the slave trade as indentured laborers. And of course, as you know, when you move to another country, you bring your cultures with you, and especially when you align with other groups of people, families, and you want to kind of bond together, you tend to stick within the same community. So what happened is that my family had what they call a gift in quotation for massage. And so I grew up hearing massage. I watched my mother and my grandmother working on women who came in with diarrhea, vomiting, pain, and they would get rid of the pain with the technique. I saw my grandmother when I came of age, very young, I saw my grandmother birthing her grandbabies at home. And this was common practice. So what happened next is that, of course, I went to high school, and the whole intent was to get a job and make money and things like that. My country wasn't so much as building a career as it is getting a job where you could earn an income. So I didn't leave my country until I was 25 years old. I finished high school at 15 and then started to work in like corporate. So I worked in two different companies that was owned by the government itself. I worked for the telephone company, and then I worked for the electricity company as a clerk. So I kind of went away from what you would call the cultural influence of my family to go to was the traditional thought processes. And in my country, you weren't required to go to college. You were just required to finish high school and get so many subjects. You were allowed to write or to take 8 subjects. 4 of them were mandatory, 4 of them were optional, but you had to get a passing grade of A, B, or C in 5 of them in order to get what they considered a good job. So at the age of 15, 16, it was not employable, because at that time they were not, hiring anybody until they were 18 years old. So I had to go back to school and try to fill in the time, and then By the time I was 1 month away from 18 is when I got my first corporate job. So my point is that when I moved to this country, I dabbled in a little bit of different things and then kind of fell into massage because I had back pain for all my life, and I thought I was getting massage. So when I heard this massage therapist speak and he said that massage could help back pain, I literally laughed at him. But after we talked, he said, come to my office. And that's what made my career change directions to what I'm doing now.
Okay. Well, that's great. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about the different facets of your company, which is Jadoo. But the main foundation part is the Jadoo Center that you had talked to me about. So tell the listeners a little bit about what the Jadoo Center is and what it encompasses as a whole, in a sense.
Okay, the technique Jadoo was what I developed through observation. And actually, after I got licensed in the state of Florida and started practicing, I realized that there was some things that were needed in the training that I got that wasn't there. So through observation and working on clients, and it took me like 12 years to actually develop the technique. And I got good at doing the technique. It basically is getting people out of pain really fast, and it's working. So what happened next is that I realized that people started having other needs because their pain was coming from different sources. And so the idea of the Jadoo Center was to provide a forum, if you want to call it that, to offer products and services that will help my clients really live a better quality of life. So the whole idea of the Jadoo Center is to create a learning environment. So we offer educational workshops, fun shops, we offer seminars, we offer online classes, we offer a lot of different educational aspects. We also, recently, we've developed the Jadoo lifestyle, which encompasses, or it actually, the foundation is the Jadoo technique. And then we've developed a health aspect, a time aspect, and a wealth aspect. We're using the word optimization for all those three. So the Jadoo Center is the umbrella that offers the Jadoo technique, the Jadoo lifestyle. It's where clients could come in for whichever direction they want to go. If they want education, they could come in for that. If they want body work, they could come in for that. If they want to learn how to maximize their time and health and wealth, they can come in to learn that also.
That's great. So I know you had mentioned earlier, and you mentioned again the Jadoo lifestyle. So I guess in my mind, how will the Jadoo lifestyle transform the lives of people?
Okay, one of the things that I found, the common complaint, if you want to call it that I got from my clients or people coming to see me was that I don't have the time or I don't have the money. And so I started looking at that, and for all of my adult life, time has been something in my head that's there all the time. For instance, I don't know if you've ever heard of the 5 love languages. Well,
yes.
Time is one of them, and that's my love language. So for some reason, time has always been forefront in my mind, but I couldn't connect the dots. When I started seeing my clients and they started talking about they don't have time, I realized one thing. We all have the same amount of time, 24 hours. So if a person is telling me that they don't have time, then what exactly are they saying to me? So the Jadoo lifestyle, through my own experience, my own trying to get my life together, my business together, to get more efficient at what I was doing, I created optimization of the time. What does that mean? That means I will ask a person, first of all, if they want to have more time when they could see me. And of course, they'll ask me, well, I'm sorry, I can't do anything else with what I got. I'm already maxed out or whatever. The thing is that circumstances will force us to either redo what we're doing, to take a different look at how we're handling it, or to just fall by the wayside. So in order to help my clients not fall by the wayside, what I have proposed to do through the Jadoo lifestyle is to give them some simple tips and strategies that they can use to optimize and maximize the use of their 24 hours to allow them not to compromise their health. And what I mean by that is a lot of times the very same people telling me I don't have time to see you will call me up and say, hey, I hurt my back, I can't walk, can you come see me, or is there any way that I could get in? So I've had several people with really major back issues come in and need help, even though they're busy. Because I'll tell you, probably 99.9% of my clientele are business owners and entrepreneurs. And of course, I know we're all trying to make money and to build our business, and we don't have time, really.
Yep.
But really,
that's true.
The thing is, do we really not have time, or do we not know how to utilize the time we have to get what we want? So I'll give you a little bit of my personal experience. I'm a published author. I play mahjong. I love reading. Oh, and as we talk about reading, I have a ton of books to read now that we're on the quarantine thing. But I read, I write, I actually developed a technique. I have a podcast myself. I'm getting ready to do online classes. I'm an artist. In fact, I painted the cover of my first book. And I was thinking that I would like to paint the covers of all my other books, but then I found a really good graphic artist. So I am excited about that. So
yes.
The thing is that relieves me of having to come up with the idea. But basically what I do with that is I see the image of what I want on the cover, and then I could tell him and he can put it together. But it really gave me pleasure to be able to do the cover of my current book and to be able to see that. But I'm a self-taught artist, and that's one of the things with my whole experience. It's all been me working at improving myself.
And once you say, Toddy, just to cut in there, is when you said you found me, the designer type of thing, to help you with your book cover, did that not free up time that then, helped you with Jadoo Lifestyle?
Well, it does, and it did. In fact, I think that the only thing that I have to do now is kind of get with you, and I don't know if your audience know this or not, but you're the one that is my perfect graphic artist. But
well, I'm sure they know now.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. So basically, what I need to do is, as I do with every other person, I work by appointment. So basically, when I have to get something done, I will call you up, we'll make an appointment, we sit and we discuss that. Whereas to paint the cover of my book, I had to literally take the time, get the paints, get the canvas, do whatever I needed to do to get that painted. And then I have to take it to somebody else who actually had to go on the computer and fix it up, in quotation. Whereas now we bypass all of that, in that I have the vision in my head as to how I want my cover to look. And then basically, and one of the things I admire about you is that you have the artistic ability that when I tell you this is what I want, sometimes I find myself trying to tell you how I want it. And, I realize, oh my God, he already understands what I need. I don't need to go into fine-tuned details. And that's what is really good about, well, I want to say the graphic artist that I am now working with, that can take my ideas, and I don't have to go into fine-tuning it with him before the process is ready to happen.
So, and we always have to fine-tune some things, you and I. We always do. We have good times when we fine-tune.
Yes. I think one of the most enjoyable time we had in creating the book was when we got together to paint ourselves.
Oh, that was wonderful.
To see. You remember, I think that was before Thanksgiving, so we had turkey. So you remember yours came out looking like a turkey?
Yes, and I still have that turkey picture. It looks wonderful, thank you.
Yes, you should frame it as a memory for helping me get my book covers together. But anyway, that really helps me, one, to create fun, and that's another thing that I